What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? Welcome to another episode of Mes que un podcast, episode 27 here with John. We got Pablo, and we got Depression. Again, our best friend of the pod.
The four amigos.
The four amigos, friend of the pod, Depression, is back again with us after Barcelona lose by 4-2 against Girona. And my goodness. Where do we start, guys? Where do we start? Because this team, it's like as soon as Xavi announced he's staying, the whole momentum just disappeared. And I wanted to start with that discussion. I wanted to start with a discussion of the team as well, how we perform in this game. And my point of view is that I think we are not really the players, particularly, or the club inside Laporta, all the people there. Pablo might know. He's friends with Laporta. He says that they talk every day.
Laporta, friend of the pod.
Yeah. I think that the situation from outside looking in, it looks way worse. And I'm not sure whether inside, the structure of the club, we realize how important or how devastating actually is this later results. It's worrying because it's like we've lost all sense of competitiveness, and I'm sure that few things haven't gone our way. Like, of course, we're talking about injuries this season. We're talking about referee decisions and stuff like that. But I don't know, guys. It's just
Luca. I'm going to jump in. We did this to ourselves. Okay. Barcelona supporters, we did this to ourselves. We had a nice little 10, 12 match run, and we're like, oh my gosh, guys, we're going to win Champions League. Wembley, baby. We did it. We sat here on this podcast, and we did it to ourselves. This is where Barcelona is right now. We've settled back to what we've seen for most of this campaign, right? From start to finish. Yes, injuries. Yes, things didn't go our way with some of these referee decisions. Sure, you can tally up some points from that. But overall, when you look at this campaign, this is where Barcelona are right now. So I think for me, it's a lesson of we need to do a better job of not having that recency bias of, oh, look what we did last match. Look what we did the last 5 matches. This is who we are. You got to kind of zoom out a little bit, right? Look at the 2 Girona matches that we played this season. Nothing was different. Nothing changed. So for me, I think, listen, I've said this on the pod before, and it's one of my favorite life lessons. Disappointment, depression, right? Friend of the pod, comes when your expectations and reality are not in alignment, right? So when you're facing that, you can change the reality or you can change your expectations. In this case, Barcelona supporters, we can't change the reality. We have no control over that. We need to manage our expectations. And we got on the hype train. That's all this was. We got on the hype train. It took us all the way up this mountaintop, and then it is a drastic fall down back to reality. That's what this is.
Yeah. Quickly before Pablo jumps in, because I know Pablo wants to be, his face is just screaming. I got something to comment here. I just gotta say that I feel that I still want to mention that hype for me is a thing that why I love this sport. Like every year when we sign a player, I'm like, oh, we signed João Felix on the left wing. Oh my god, we got the best player in the world. Oh my god, we're gonna see the best of him. He's gonna come to fix this team. I think that's the beauty of football, actually. Like the hype thing that we're gonna go to Wembley, talking us in the group chat, saying, okay, guys, where are we gonna be staying in London? What's our plan? What's our 24/7 marathon of watching Barca? So things like that. I that's why we love this sport, right? But like Johnny's saying, expectation. I think that's one thing we must understand. But the problem is that in football, I think that most of the time expectation is not set by the actual club. It's set by the fan base, by the media. And you have another variable in there, and that's time. Time is one thing that the longer you go, the expectation, the higher they get, which makes no sense at all. It should actually be tied to how your performances go. But that's what Barcelona are in right now, right?
Yeah. Pablo, we chatted before the Valencia match last. How you been since? How you feeling now?
Yeah, I think I think the most difficult thing for Barca fans to take in. I think this Girona match was a good picture of the whole season. It was sort of like a snippet of everything Barca have been this season, good in certain points, and then a total collapse by the end of it. But I think people are looking back to really the bigger picture of this. What I mean by the bigger picture is Laporta's the president. How much can you change with the financial situation? Losing will have consequences. Those sorts of topics come up again. For me, you look at the Palancas last summer, not the one we just had, but the one before. We sold a lot of assets of the club. We rebuilt the team. We won La Liga. I think to regress so badly within a year of that, to almost be back where we were 2 years ago, is worrying for me. I think that's what hurts quite a lot, that we sort of had one season where it was like, we're building, we've become competitive, we're not conceding goals. Yeah, we sit up in that group stage, but let's build. We got the manager, we have the project, we have the players. I think to go boom, like that, the next season, I think hurts quite a lot. The way we've exited competitions, 14 points is it off in La Liga now. Real Madrid champions with 4 match weeks to go. It's heavy. I think it's been a heavy season, a tough one to take. And look, there's loads of variables. People will look at Laporta, but I mean, if Vitor Font won the elections, I don't know if I have any comment on what we'd be right now, really. But I don't know if there's certain things he could do. I'm sure there are. But at the same time, he's talking about our reality. That's it. I think someone made a good comment, and it was like Real Madrid going to win their 15th Champions League in a few weeks' time. They've just won, their 36th La Liga, or whatever it was, 34th or something, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And in the summer, they're going to sign Kylian Mbappe. Barcelona 14 points behind, knocked out 4-1 by PSG, who just lost to Dortmund, and we're going to sign Guido Rodriguez on a free. So, you have to, that I think is what hurts. But yeah, of course, yesterday was it's tough. Obviously, Xavi's staying next season, and I think the players like him, but they have to start performing, or he has to try and find a formula that turns us into a winning team, because we're probably not going to have that many reinforcements. But the players we have are good enough, but they need to find a formula, Xavi and his coaching staff, that gets this team to win. And I think the worst thing about yesterday was sort of we're done for that this season. The players, you can just see it, because we've conceded City goals all season, ridiculous, stupid goals, and we did again yesterday. We went 2-2 and 3-2 in the space of a few seconds. We were completely in control of that game, didn't kill our chances to make it 3-1, and then collapsed in a minute. But Barca, what they are good at is little comebacks, and I think it was quite telling that after we went 3-2 down and 4-2 down, there wasn't a second in the game where we looked like scoring again. That team was
yeah.
I made note that not a single substitution made any difference. I mean, I want to point out Xavi taking off Lewandowski as early as he did surprised me, but I think that's the right move for me. To your point, Pablo, about Xavi needing to maybe prioritize making the tactical decisions over the relationships and the repercussions with his rapport with the players. But no, there was nothing. We threw the kitchen sink at Girona, and nothing at all. I was wildly disappointed with the second half of football from Barcelona during that match. I don't know, Buga, were there anybody that stood out to you? Any silver lining, any saving grace there? I mean, I even made note, I think this was Kubarsi's maybe first stinker of a match.
Was coming.
The best moment of the entire game was 3 minutes in. That's literally it. Christensen pulled out his Adriano prime and scored a golazo. But after that, I feel that I don't know, guys. I don't know. The problem that I see when watching this team is, I think, the way that we can see the way that we play, or how our mentality drops after scoring a goal, that's ridiculous. We always concede after scoring. It happened against PSG. It happens here. It happened plenty of times before. All the time when we score a goal, once we get into a comfortable position, that's when we lose our minds. I actually do prefer. I remember when I was watching the game against PSG, and this game here as well. Once we get in advantage, I'm a little bit more worried about our team, because Barcelona are not good at holding that advantage. I prefer much rather to have a 1-1 draw, minute 80, and then we score. that's much better, in my opinion, in the way that a game should go. Because this team is way too fragile, way too vulnerable when it comes to just sort of handling the games, just passing around slowly, trying to control the midfield, trying to control the game. And I was actually talking to a friend as well yesterday. He's also a Barcelona fan, which is weird. I only have one friend who's another Barcelona fan. And I told Pablo, right? We went on a hike. We were talking there, like watching the sky. In Peru, there's no green, so it's just dust everywhere, like a desert. So we're just watching the arid landscape, the wasteland. And we are saying the problem is that actually here in this team, Barcelona, we don't have a leader. And the problem is that you cannot buy those. You need to nurture those. You need to grow those. You need to cultivate those heads. Like Araujo one day will be that if he stays. Pedri, Gavi, all those players. But Lewandowski or Gundogan, you can sort of get somewhere because we are in a way better than when we fought them. But now, when it comes to those players that can breathe in, breathe out the club, the badge, the colors,
oh dear,
that takes a little bit more time to nurture, right?
You guys still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll cut this part out if I need to. Let me just do. I don't know if I froze. Did anybody else freeze?
Yeah.
I froze. Okay.
Yeah.
We should still be fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just you.
I'll just cut. Okay. It was just me. All right.
Just
what was the last point that you said?
So I said that
leaders, yeah.
About leaders, that our team needs leaders, and the only way to do that is time. Like, you need to cultivate those. You cannot buy them. Like, you can buy them into a certain extent with like a Lewandowski, Gundogan, but when it comes to winning, you need to, these players.
Yeah.
Araujo needs the experience of and here you can restart. You can say from what I'm gonna say. A player like Araujo, for instance, he needs the experience of doing that foul in the quarterfinals. He needs that experience. Pedri needs that. Gavi needs that. Even though they're not playing, we need that experience as a team. And it can get you somewhere with a Gundogan and Lewandowski, but at the end of the day, like I said, you need time to see those growth in the players, right? The leadership that we actually need to compete in the latter stages of competitions of the season.
Also, the worry I have though is winning breeds winning, and losing breeds losing. And this group of Barcelona players, who I really like, and I've said all season long that I think this squad is good enough to put in a really good show in the Champions League, to win La Liga, to actually compete and win everything. I mean that. You look at squads that win things. I think people think that you have to build this like super team to win everything. No team in the world is perfect, but teams win things. Barca's the same. We're not perfect, but we've got very good footballers. Very good footballers. Yeah. Believe me, we really do. That's not the problem now. And I've said that all season long, that's what upsets me. But I think what the worrying thing about this group is that they're becoming accustomed to losing. That group feel it in the Champions League. They really feel it in the Champions League, and they did against PSG again. Because even when they're in an okay position, the second there's the first goal goes in, they all look around and go, ooh, it's happening again, isn't it? None of them think like, nah, calm. Like Real Madrid. Real Madrid don't care. If Real Madrid go 1-0 down, or even 2-0 down on Wednesday night against Bayern, they don't look around and go, it's happening again. They go like, come on, bring it on, because we've got this. And Barca,
but it's fine. It's fine just saying it, but then like, how do we change that?
Yeah, you'd think it's bringing somebody in who has that winning mentality, and I think that's what we've done with a Gundogan. But you can see the clash there, and you can see the frustration from Gundogan, because I think he's recognizing the same thing. And maybe it's a maturity thing, but I don't know. I'm fully with you. I mean, I had a friend message me as soon as Barcelona ended that tie with PSG, calling us Barcelona, and I got nothing to say back, because we are very much wearing that coat right now. So it is frustrating. I'm gonna try to give us a little silver lining here. Fermin Lopez. I think throughout all of this, he's one that has still performed well. My question for the group is Fermin Lopez now at this point in the season, has he passed Pedri in the depth chart?
I don't think so because the profiles are way too different of players. But I think that when you come to look at making the team, he's way higher than what people actually think, and I would put him there as
That's what
well.
I'm saying.
But I wouldn't change Pedri. Like I mean, as the day Gavi comes back, I'm gonna start him. The day that Pedri is fit 100%, I'm gonna play him. So that for me is one thing that it won't really change. Like I wouldn't change that. Those are players that are exquisite breeds. You know, that's like your golden ticket of Willy Wonka's factory sort of thing. So exactly, that's Pedri. I wouldn't change it for me.
He's definitely earned his spot in next season, hasn't he, Fermin?
Yeah.
There's no way he won't be in Barcelona's first team next season, which is good. I mean, I think it's been the breakout stars who've been the best part of Barca's season, but that's also been a bad thing because I think we haven't built on last season. I'm looking at the likes of Araujo, Ter Stegen, who was arguably Barca's best player last season. Koundé, even Christensen has been good, but maybe not as good as he was at centre back last season. Not entirely his fault. Lewandowski, obviously like a Frenkie de Jong. Even like Pedri, Gavi obviously being injured. Everyone's almost dropped off. Balde's been injured. The stars have been the breakouts. Cubarsí, Lamine Yamal, Fermin. Those have been the good ones really this season. But a big issue is we haven't built on that La Liga title in it at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've remember we were talking about how do we change this, right? So I'm looking at it. Why do the breakout players actually perform the best? Maybe because they're not consumed with this group of like Pablo was saying, you know, the fact that it's like they're not being consumed by the losing mentality just yet. That's sort of why I think they're so good. And is there a point where actually with, let's say, more players of this, could we actually change this dynamic? That's one thing that I want to see. Because for instance, it pains me to say, and I still wouldn't, I don't know. We always see Frank de Jong being put up in the transfer list, right? Every single
year, dude.
Every year. And it's like I love Frank. I really do love Frankie de Jong. Like my God, he's one of my favorite players I've ever seen. Really, I'm talking about this guy in high status. But it's like this guy has been part of Barcelona since when we started going down. Like he's been through everything.
Buga, you're doing this? Oh no!
No, I'm not saying sell Frank de Jong, but what I'm saying,
don't do it. Don't do it, Buga.
But what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is that that's hard. Araujo, the same thing, like Pablo was saying. You know, these are players that have been here through the worst. How do we change this? And they are such an important players as well for the team. So, is there a way where we can I don't know, get more players in, change his mentality? Because I do see like in a Rafinha, he's a guy who's always going to give 100%, and I don't know. I feel the Koundé as well. He's changing a bit that mentality. I think time can help you, but like I was saying, our expectations are way too high with the time that we have right now. We're way too, like it or not, we're still very. I look at this team and I still feel this team is still very, very raw. I always say this. Yeah. You need the win against PSG away from home. Great, that's one more step in the right direction. But now, next step, you need to actually beat the team. You know, we've beat PSG once, or the team of big status. Now you have to, you know, get to the next stage, eliminate them of the competition, knock them out. That's the next step, and I feel that's more and more what we need to get closer and closer and closer to. But what I'm worried about is that it can take particularly longer because of our finances and whatnot. And it's like we're gonna be getting a Nico Williams, which is a great player, but it's like he still is, in a sense, a raw player like that. You can never call a Nico Williams like a world-class player until you win that stage, you know? A player like Saka in Arsenal, amazing world-class player, but he's not like up there, right?
Okay. We're not signing anybody this summer, my guy. We're not signing anybody. Yeah. We're not getting the Super Copa. And I haven't looked up what that does financially. I don't know the numbers, but
20 million, I think it is.
I was just going to say, I'm sure it's in the millions. So, my dude, we're not signing anybody. We're selling all of our loan players. We are going to sell somebody that hurts. It's going to happen. I don't think it will be Frankie, but I think we will sell somebody that hurts. Maybe
who?
maybe one of the Barca athletic players that we've been waiting to break through, something like that. Maybe
No,
somebody in the
I
center back
actually,
position.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Pablo? Do you think we actually are gonna get rid of one of the big names? If we get rid of one of the big names, the one for me that I feel is the most like what do you call it? More
Likely.
Most likely.
likely, more likely. I think it's gonna be like Frankie De Jong, Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati, maybe those sort of names.
I actually don't know if we will, because I think now that Xavi's staying, he's sort of got his like guys. So yeah, I can't
Yeah.
see it. I don't know. I think we might not get rid of anyone big. By the way, I think the score will be quite similar to next season. I agree with your point of signings though, like Bulgar. Say we do get Nico Williams for 50 million. Yeah, you're right. He's the same as everyone else in the squad. He hasn't won anything big. He hasn't ever got through like a big like European stage. Oh god. That's stupid iPhone thing.
I saw that happening. I saw that happen in ESPN. Okay, so don't feel bad.
Did you actually? Really?
Yeah.
You think on like a streaming thing they get rid of it anyway. He hasn't like won anything big. He's still very young. Hasn't played Champions League football. Like he fits. He just goes into the mold with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, then you bring someone like a Gundogan in. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I watched Gundogan again yesterday. I just think like jogging through the game. Jogging through the game. I'm like, you're not impacting. I think was it their third goal, Miguel Gutierrez on the edge of the area. I saw that run from a mile away. I'm thinking, are you going to bust the gut to get in there? Nope.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it's like Gundogan is an amazing player. Literally the other day, I'm gonna bring this up later in this discussion, but it's like he's already won everything. Like that's a thing. You need someone who's right there. For me, the perfect age of player right now, when I look at it, of the players that we need to buy, it's the Frankie De Jong, it's the Rafinha, it's the Christensen. It was the Frankesi, the age of where you've won stuff. Like you actually, let's say, Frankesi for me was a perfect example. You win Serie A with Milan in a very long time. You get them to the Champions League, whatever. You're the captain. You're loved there. You come to this club. You progress a little bit more. Rafinha, the very same thing. Why, dude? That's perfect prime. 25 years of age, 26 years of age. You've done something in your career already. Now, bang, the next level, the next push, the next stop, the next step. I think the players we should be looking at, but we got rid of them. We really did get rid of them. And I think that for me, best signing so far, Christensen, Rafinha. Kessie for me is still one of the best signings we've had in a while. And I put it up. Koundé as well. I think it's a good example of it.
Yeah, no, I agree with your points. The only reason I'm laughing is I love the Bulgar like Kessie prop that comes up every like five episodes roughly. Like he goes unmentioned.
Bro, he's the GOAT.
He goes unmentioned, and then out of nowhere, it's like, guys, we fucking sold Kessie.
He's so good. Like he was so. I kid you not. He was so good, bro.
Yeah, he helped us win La Liga. Yeah, I do agree with that. You know, I agree with your point in terms of profiles. Yeah.
Oh my god, get me Paulinho, get me Aubameyang. Like, oh my god, those guys.
Listen, you do need to have those role players. I agree. I think it's just the nature of the beast where Barcelona are not in a situation where we can invest in the players that we want to invest in that would be those puzzle pieces that fit in with the Lamines, Rafinhas, Frankie, Pedri, Gavi, right? We just don't have it. So I don't think there is a solution right now other than to wait.
Yeah.
I really don't.
For me, like if we're talking about, let's say, left wing is a position, right? Nico Williams, an amazing player. I love that guy. But it's like when you look at the players at Barcelona before, or if I'm like I don't know how you say the sporting director, I would go with. I'm not saying I don't care about quality. I don't care about what you think the player would fit, but I'm talking about the trajectory of this player. I'm talking about Kvaratskhelia, who has won Serie A. Okay, he has been a starter already week in, week out with a team. Or Rafa Leao, the very same thing. Like a player of that stature, a player who have actually done a little bit. I guess in Nico Williams, you can say he's played already in Spain. He has won the Copa del Rey, but I want on a more consistent basis. You know, that sort of player, that next little step, that for me is the sort of line, margin, limit where we sort of should be looking forward from there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the big question everyone else obviously got now as Barcelona fans is because like Xavi's staying now, because we're all saying here there won't be much change next season. Is like everyone's thinking like, well, what happens from here? And that's sort of the point I made right at the top of the podcast. Was like, obviously, when Laporta came in, we sold the assets, we rebuilt the team. We have Xavi in as coach. You sort of obviously you expect little bumps, but you sort of think it goes like that. I think for it to go like that and then like after one season go like that again is what like hurts. So I think obviously everyone's thinking now, okay, well we're not getting a new manager in, so that's not going to change. Players are going to stay the same. What does next season look like then?
Lewandowski's 1 year older.
Yeah,
Guys, I'm telling you, I'm not going to go on the rant again, but it is a mistake to not sell him this summer. It is an absolute mistake. We are not going to win Champions League next season with or without Lewandowski. So, like, you know what I'm saying?
I know, but I don't think they're also gonna sell him. I don't think he's gonna go. I don't think Gundogan's.
I don't think
go.
he will. I think there's a 10% chance that Lewandowski goes anywhere, because here's the thing. It's only down from here for Lewandowski, right? Like, if you look at the clubs that are above Barcelona in terms of could you win Champions League, could Lewandowski have a chance at a Ballon d'Or, right? Because that's what he's going for. He is clinging on to the hope.
He has already won it. Yeah, fuck off. Like,
he should have gotten it in 2020.
Yeah.
But he is clinging on to the hope that these kids around him are going to put him on his shoulders and he's going to get a Champions League and a Ballon d'Or.
If Barcelona win the treble, Lewandowski,
either Saudi or America.
If Barcelona win the treble, Lewandowski ain't winning the Ballon d'Or. Like, I can assure you that. Like, he won't even be the first name.
You go tell him that.
But he know. I think he knows. I think he knows. I think that what you're saying, it's nonsense. I'm sorry.
You're nonsense. Don't you talk to me like that.
I think it's done. Like, I think he realized, like, you know what, the dream is over. Like, I think
what's he sticking around for then?
Because what other club is gonna pay him what he's paying and gonna give him starting minutes every single week in, week out? There's not a single club. There's not a single club that's gonna. Maybe Dortmund, a team like that could give him, but he's playing at Barcelona. He's getting paid well. You're in a good city. He's gonna stay here. That's for me. That's key. And I also wanted to say that, guys. Like, I was watching yesterday a video about discussing. They were talking about the greatest midfielders of this century. From 2000 onwards. And when you look, no. Okay. and when people and when they started naming, the different players, the different, what they have won. You look at someone like did you know, like, for this caught me off guard. I know he's not a midfielder, but they mentioned this. Cristiano Ronaldo had only won 2 La Liga titles. That's crazy, dude. Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo only won 2 La Liga titles at Real Madrid. And that makes the comment about Messi saying that when, guys, you don't understand how big of a deal is winning 8 La Liga titles in 10 years. You don't understand that. We don't understand that.
Well, that's what winners do.
We didn't understand that. And I also wanted to say, like, when you look at Barcelona, and I always say this, like, we are a little bit spoiled because that era of like 2006 onwards, Barcelona like climbed up a lot of ground. But it was because we were in our golden era. It was the best time ever, whatever. But it's like, we got a little bit spoiled by that. And I don't know if we clearly haven't, but we clearly haven't planned for the future because this guy Bartomeu sucks. And am I allowed to say that?
Sure. Yeah. I was just talking with somebody the other day about just giving credit where credit is due with Real Madrid leaving the Ronaldo era, transitioning to what we're seeing today, and they didn't miss a beat.
No.
They went from title to title to title. And in fact, for Ronaldo fans, I think that's a ding against him and his legacy in the fact that Real Madrid can just keep doing this. It actually doesn't matter who they bring in, what the name on the back of the kit is. This is a Real Madrid legacy. I think we do have to give them that credit, give Real Madrid their flowers, that this club is the gold standard for how a club should be run.
Yeah, you look at
you could talk about the culture of their supporters if you want to, but in terms of how Real Madrid has transitioned from superstar to superstar and not had those hiccups. It's amazing.
Yeah, tell me, you guys, if you guys agree. I think that it's 100% clear that Barcelona misses Messi more than what Real Madrid misses Cristiano Ronaldo. I think that's a guarantee. And the other thing is that when you look at Barcelona's success, I mostly give it to Messi, to Xavi, to Iniesta, to Piqué, to Dani Alves, to Suarez, to Neymar, to Henry, to the
Jordi
players,
Alba.
to the players, not Sergio Roberto, not really to like the club,
Gerard
the
Piqué.
institution. You know,
Carles
you know what
Puyol, let's go, baby.
That's what I mean.
Times.
It's
Sorry,
like
that's
you.
what I just.
You most associate the team with you associate the team most with the players. It's like it's more of the players' team than what Barcelona has managed to cultivate and done throughout the years. And I feel that identity, like you're not, that philosophy that made Barcelona, you know, the club with the values that we all know and love. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know how far can we take that to win. And I think that's the thing that I'm seeing right now, that we don't have that mentality. Like Pablo is saying, it's like we don't have that mentality. We have not, and in comparison to other teams out there, you know, like the Real Madrid, for instance, the culture here in this club is not up to scratch. Like our culture is more similar to United than what we are similar to Real Madrid.
Ugh. Don't compare us to United. That's gross, dude. Ugh. Can I bring up something? I'm a complete gear change here, but watching the last two matches, and it's not just the last two matches, but something that I want to bring up. Again, just changing topics here. Lamine Yamal has to stop diving. He has to stop diving. I get that his favorite player is Neymar, but he has to stop, because then the match against Girona, that was a penalty, but it was very close. And you've seen, that's a great example. The referees are not giving him the benefit of the doubt. He goes down way too easy. He's looking for the fouls. He's letting himself go down. I understand he's 16 years old. He's not out on the same level physically as some of these full-grown men that he's going up against. But he is already getting a reputation for the diving, for going down too easy. And he needs to stop that. He needs to adapt the Lionel Messi mentality of knock me down and I'll be the first one back up, and continuing on and play through the whistle. That's what I want to see from Lamine. That's what I want to see in all of our youngsters coming up, because when Neymar was wearing the Barcelona kit and he was flopping around and that was the conversation instead of his great play, it was incredibly frustrating as a supporter. So I don't want to see Lamine go down that same road.
Wow.
Just saying. Love the kid. Knock that nonsense off. If I was one of the veterans of the club, I'd be grabbing him by the back of the kit and being like, "Hey, no, we're not doing that again. We're not bringing back the Neymar era of Barcelona flopping everywhere."
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't you talk to me like that, Booga. I know you love the flopping. I know you love it.
Do you think he is diving?
I do. I think he's going down way too easy. Again, this most recent case against Girona, that was a penalty. He did get clipped. But if you go back, I'll take a big swing and I'll say in every match, there's a case where he just stops moving his legs and just goes down. You know what I mean? It's not like a who was it? Was it Saka, where he like kicked into the goalie? I think it was him a few weeks back.
Saka.
Saka. Whatever. He's Japanese.
Saka.
Yeah,
Saka.
I was like, who the hell is Saka?
Sometimes I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. It happens as an American. Again, I'll just reiterate.
I'm American.
As an American, it is our right to pronounce words however we want, and then the rest of the world has to adapt to that. So that's it.
Sure.
Iran.
It is Iran. Is Juventus.
The Iran situation.
People apparently get really mad when I say Fermin instead of or Fermin instead of Fermin.
Yeah.
But it's I get it. I know it.
Do you know? It's not. Do you know, guys, that it's not Araujo? It's Araujo.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I'm gonna get up on my high horse for this one because from the start, you can go back to my channel.
You're saying it right.
I would say Araujo, and then everybody. What is?
No, but normally the last name is Araujo. It's just this guy.
That.
It's just this guy has like a little thingy on the U because he's like half
accent.
He's half Brazilian or something. So Araujo.
Yeah, dude.
I just call him Araujo.
Yeah, me too. I call him Ronald. I call him Ronnie.
Well, friend of the pod. So
friend of the pod, Ronnie.
We're on a first name basis, but for commentary purposes, Araujo.
Yeah.
And then there's Gundogan, right? I know I'm not doing that one any justice, but
yeah, I never know how to say that.
Yeah, I mean, you're Gundogan. I just go Gundogan.
Where to put the emphasis, Gundogan.
Okay. How do you say Kevin De Bruyne? Kevin De Bruyne.
I say Kevin De Bruyne.
I say Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, I say De Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
I
say De Bruyne, I think. Kevin De Bruyne. I just say KDB, actually. I think I just sidestepped that whole situation.
KDB.
Yeah,
I call him Kev.
Friend of the pod, of course. I don't know. Any other ones come to mind? Because that is a consistent thing. Oh, I think the worst, right? I think this is starting to get caught up.
I'm going to look up.
But English commentators who pronounce Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez.
Yeah. Martinez.
Yeah. I saw a meme once that was like, "Hey, English commentators, it's never Martin-easy. It's never Martinez."
Yeah.
Martinez.
Yeah.
It's Martinez.
Martinez is an absolute classic hero.
Yeah, the double L's will sometimes throw me off. Yeah. Like, because depending on what country you're from, it's either an L sound or a Y sound.
Yeah.
So those throw me off. But again, as an American, I just proudly and confidently pronounce it how I want to pronounce it, and then you guys have to adjust. That's how this goes.
I'm trying to think.
Are you still looking up names?
I'm looking up names, guys. I'm looking up names.
Hey Google, what are the hardest?
I used to say. Do you say Griezmann? Right. That's a fact. Griezmann.
Yeah.
I heard people say Griezmann in Spanish.
Yeah. No.
Griezmann.
You're churching it up too much.
And you say Antoine or Antoine?
Griezmann. Yeah. I say Antoine Griezmann.
Antoine Griezmann.
Griezmann.
There are no more names that come up to
Do you say Mbappe or Mbappe?
Mbappe.
Oh wow.
Mbappe.
It's because it has the accent in the E, so it's Mbappe.
Yeah, I know, but
that's how it's supposed to be. But everybody says Mbappe.
We don't
Mbappe.
care.
No, I say Mbappe.
And
by the way, guys, there's a song in Spanish called Mbappe, and you have to listen to the lyrics in it. It's so like only.
Too soon. I don't want to.
Yeah. We're gonna have enough of that next season. Just spare us for the next few months.
Oh my god, oh my god. I am fingers crossed, hoping and praying that it's just a repeat of when Real Madrid brought in Kaká and Ronaldo in the same summer, and then Barcelona actually started their best era ever. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping happens. I mean, at the end of the day, Real Madrid can only put 11 players on the pitch, and you can only have so many of them be attackers. So that's our silver lining. That's our saving grace. Definitely. You can't have all of these attackers on the pitch at the same time.
They should get Alphonso Davies, just for the sake of it.
Shh, Booga, shh. No. Don't speak it into existence. Don't want it.
It's a topic for the summer, to be fair. The transfers get around, but I do enjoy having that Real Madrid debate in terms of where they're going to fit Mbappe in and everything.
It's easy. Yeah. I mean, it's not that easy, but it's like
I think they're going to be fine, but I don't think it's easy. I think it might come to the detriment of one of them by about 10, 15 goals a season. But
I think Mbappe is going to go play central. Like, that's a fact. Is Modric going to stay? Because if he doesn't stay, then Mbappe's get the 10.
No, Modric leaves.
10.
Vinicius through the middle.
Mbappe gets 10.
Vinicius.
I think Vinicius. I think Vinny Jr. plays through the middle is what it ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have Mbappe left, Rodrigo right, Vinny Jr. playing a center forward false 9 situation.
Then the midfield of Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Valverde.
That means Bellingham's role changes completely, though, because Bellingham hasn't been playing behind a front three.
It should though, right? He's not a center forward. Am I right for Dortmund? He was a box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah, that's just what he's become at Real, though. So he's going to have to adapt to be doing more midfielder things because right now he's doing striker things. He comes on and does one-touch finishes. He doesn't do a lot of midfield play at the moment, Bellingham. So he's going to have to adapt to that.
That's actually what cost him in the game against Bayern Munich, I think, because Bayern Munich just surpassed that midfield because there was literally no cover, no Bellingham from the front.
Yeah. All right, real quick to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Semi-final predictions for the second leg. Who we're going to see in the final, boys?
Oh, the Champions League?
Mm-hmm. I know we kind of blacked that out, put it out of our minds, but it's still going despite Barcelona being out of the tournament. It did continue on.
Okay, I'm gonna say it because you're probably gonna clip this. You should clip this. I think Dortmund is gonna reach the final, and I think it's gonna be a final between Dortmund and Real Madrid. That's what I think the final's gonna be. I of course hope that Marco Reus lifts the trophy because he deserves that. It will be the best story ever in football. And I also want to drop predictions I did the other day a post about predictions in my Twitter about like the Ballon d'Or because I think it's interesting. And I wanted to put it up here, guys, and see what you think. So that's my prediction for the Champions League. Before I say this, you want to give your predictions?
Yeah, sure. Paulo, what do you think?
Real PSG.
Oh. Is the second leg in Paris or Dortmund?
Paris.
It's in Paris. Damn it. I really don't want it to be Paris versus PSG. Or Paris versus PSG. Paris versus Real. I'm going Dortmund Bayern.
Final.
And Bayern win it.
Okay.
Marco Reus breaks the hearts of the streets and goes home.
What do you think about this? I had my theories, right? So the Ballon d'Or this year, I think, is very open in contrast to other people. That's what I say. So I think that if Real Madrid win the double and they win the Champions League, the La Liga, I think Bellingham wins it. If PSG wins the treble, I think Mbappe wins it. If Kane wins it, if Bayern wins the UCL and England wins the Euros, and
England are not going to win the Euros.
Listen,
they're
then
going to have to go through penalty kicks against somebody. It's not going to happen.
If let's say if somehow Dortmund wins the UCL, I think that then it's like Mbappe if France win the Euros, Kane or Bellingham if England wins the Euros. But then there's my shout for Ballon d'Or and the guy I want to win the Ballon d'Or this year, and I think actually deserves the Ballon d'Or. Do you know who I'm going to say?
Franck Kessié.
No. Guess, guys, please.
Okay, Buma's Ballon d'Or for this year.
Franck Kessié. What? Why the fuck would Rudiger win it? No.
He's unreal.
I'm going to say that you think it should be not Vinny Jr.
10,
I don't know.
9, 8,
weird.
7, 6,
Renato Tapia.
5.
It's going to be somebody so weird.
I think the Ballon d'Or, if all of what I'm going to say happens, should go to Florian Wirtz.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude, if Leverkusen, they have 6 games to end the year, unbeaten, dude. That's insane. And they won everything. And then if Germany wins the Euros, Florian Wirtz.
No, because here's the thing. Xabi Alonso is going to get all the credit for Leverkusen. All the credit because it's been a team effort, a team success, right? And like I said, Xabi Alonso is going to get all the credit for that.
No ball knowledge in this room.
Ballon d'Or, don't talk to me like that.
No ball knowledge.
Ballon d'Or is more of a popularity contest than anything else. So I love your spirit. I love the little engine that could mentality, but it's not going to happen. The Ballon d'Or is for the big boys, the headliners, the top dogs.
Florian Wirtz, maybe.
Yeah.
Florian Wirtz, if we get Florian Wirtz, we're closer to success than Barcelona has ever been since Messi left. That's a fact.
Booga. I'm going to take your expectations. I'm going to bring them down to reality. We're not signing anybody, baby.
Yeah, never mind Wirtz for 150 mil.
Yeah.
Florian Wirtz.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We'll get to all that though. We will get to summer transfers. We will get to what the heck are we going to do with the juggernaut that Real Madrid is putting together. with Mbappe and others coming in this summer. And we'll talk Euros. We'll talk all that good stuff. We'll get to it. So even though there are no trophies to play for, even though the season is winding down, we're going to keep it going, folks. We're going to keep this pod going. We'll be back next week. And we'll talk all things Barcelona, whatever pops up. I didn't even look at the schedule for who we have coming up, to be honest. Living day by day right now.
By the time we have done next pod, we wouldn't have played anyone because we're playing Real Sociedad next, but it's on a Monday.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, fantastic. All right, well then maybe we'll just get together and we'll talk about some nonsense, have a few laughs, and keep things going.
Real Madrid
We didn't say it at the top of the
2024.
pod. You're hilarious. We didn't say it at the top of the pod. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you give some comments down below. We want to know your thoughts, your opinions, ask your questions, give us your response to the nonsense that we're spitting out here. And we'll see you next week, folks. Thanks so much for listening to Más que un Podcast.